Good morning. Today, a lot of Apple products. The big Apple event just launched. We have so many things, and you can tell I'm ready. I got Apple, white color. Let's get started. So Apple launched a whole bunch of new things, but we're going to start with the smartphone, specifically the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus. That's right, this time the normal iPhones come in two size variants. It's not one medium, one small, it's one medium, one big. So you have the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 14 Plus. That means RIP iPhone minis. But as far as specs and features go, it's not a whole lot different from the iPhone 13. So at the core, you still have an A15 Bionic processor, but it's not the same one that's in the regular iPhone 13. Instead, you get the one that's from the iPhone 13 Pro, which means you get 5 GPU cores, so technically performance should be slightly better. Up front for the iPhone 14, you get a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR display, while the 6.7-inch Plus also has a Super Retina display, but it's slightly bigger. None of them come with ProMotion, however, which is kind of disappointing, and you also don't get the brand new always-on display that is on the iPhone 14 Pro. The smartphones also retain the notch, but this time come in new colors. Wow! For photography, you're also only getting a dual camera setup. That's two 12-megapixel cameras, but this time the main camera or the wide camera has a larger aperture, so it should be better, and they're also pairing it with something called a photonic engine. Apparently, this gives you 49% better low light performance. Probably the biggest upgrade though is the pricing. The 6.1-inch iPhone 14 will start at 4,199 ringgit. To give you context, the 13 started at 3,899 ringgit for the base 128GB model. So you're seeing a 300 ringgit price bump there, while the iPhone 14 Plus will start at 4,699 ringgit. Pre-orders for both of these smartphones will start on the 16th of September, but availability will be a little bit different. So for the iPhone 14, that will be available from the 23rd of September onwards, while the iPhone 14 Plus, that will be available from the 7th of October onwards. Next up, we have the iPhone 14 Pro series. So you have two variants as usual. You have the iPhone 14 Pro and the larger iPhone 14 Pro Max. The displays are Super Retina XDR displays, but obviously they have ProMotion, and this allows for a brand new feature for iPhones anyway, and that is the always-on display. But unlike the always-on displays on like a Samsung or most Android devices, it looks like on the iPhone, the whole display is sort of still on, so it's almost like an e-ink display, and they do this by dropping the refresh rate to just 1 Hz, so you get to see color and like your wallpaper and stuff like that, and it won't like sort of turn on until you wake it up, and then it becomes brighter. Speaking of brightness though, probably one of the most impressive things about these displays is that they have a special outdoor mode that can pump brightness to a peak of 2,000 nits. That is insane. Unlike the 14 and 14 Plus, the Pro models will come with a new processor, and this is the Apple A16 Bionic processor. So you can definitely expect a performance boost there. Another big upgrade for both these smartphones are the cameras. So you get a triple camera setup at the back, but they're not all 12-megapixel cameras anymore. So the main camera or the wide camera on the Pro models, they are now 48-megapixel sensors, and they also have some kind of pixel binning technology that will produce better 12-megapixel photos. Obviously, it also comes with the new photonic engine, so you should expect way better low light performance. And because the main sensor is 48 megapixels, this unlocks two more things. Number one, ProRAW is now 48 megapixels, so you get 48 megapixel RAW photos, which is obviously very detailed. And another thing is that now you get a dedicated 2x telephoto. So if you were on the Pro phones and you felt that 3x was too far or too much zoom, now there's like a digital cropping of 2x, so that you can get that sort of 2x look. Flanking the 48 megapixel camera is obviously another two 12 megapixel sensors, one with the ultra wide lens and the other one with the 3x telephoto lens. Also new with the entire iPhone 14 series is something called action mode. So this is like basically an enhanced stabilization mode that is supposed to smoothen out action shots, and like, you know, when you're running, and they showed like an example in Dune Buggy where it was like and then the footage was steady. Obviously we'll have to see how that looks like in real life, but obviously more stabilization is always better. Also upgraded across the board for the 14 and 14 Pro models is the selfie camera. So they both will feature 12 megapixel true depth cameras, and these cameras also have an f1.9 aperture lens, so you should get better selfies. Much like the regular iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, the biggest upgrade is the price point. So now if you want to get an iPhone 14 128 gigs, that will cost you 5,299 ringgit. And if you want to get an iPhone 14 Pro Max, that will start at 5,799 ringgit. So that means that across the range, you're seeing like a price increase of between 300 to 700 ringgit. Obviously, the main reason why should be how strong the US dollar is right now compared to the Malaysian ringgit. Like, do you see this? Do you see this? That's how sad it is right now. Much like the iPhone 14, the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max will be available for pre-order from the 16th of September onwards, with availability being set at 23rd of September. Besides that, Apple also launched new watches. So you've got the Apple Watch 8 as well as the highly anticipated Apple Watch Ultra. Dun, dun. It obviously looks like a slightly beefed up Apple Watch with a new case design this time, 49mm, which sounds absolutely massive to me. And there's also a raised lip so that you can protect the flat sort of sapphire crystal display that's on the top for, you know, more rugged experience and more rugged terrain. The watch can also go even deeper now, down to 100 meters, so it's suitable for diving, and it will come with 3 specialized loops designed to sort of like fit the kind of adventurer that you are. So there's one that is like a Velcro loop with like a little tab for easy adjustment, another one that is like a rubber loop, and then you have a third one which is like a G hook thing that's for climbing. So yeah. As you can probably tell, the case design is also slightly different. So now the digital crown is slightly more ribbed and textured for your own pleasure. And you also have a protective layer at the side of the case that sort of juts out and protects both the crown as well as the side button. On top of that, they're also adding a whole new customizable action key. So like you can customize it to, you know, switch between stages of a triathlon or, you know, stuff like that. It's basically customizable and it gives you more functional control over your Apple Watch. Battery life on the Watch Ultra is also now at 36 hours or up to 36 hours. And if you do find yourself lost in the wilderness, there is a siren feature. So if you press like a button on the Apple Watch Ultra, it will emit an 86 decibel siren. If you don't know what that sounds like, this is what it sounds like. But obviously with an Ultra watch, you get an Ultra price tag, because this watch will be priced at 3,799 ringgit, and there is only one variant and all variants come with cellular. So that's 3,799 ringgit. You can buy like proper smartphones with flagship processors if you're on the Android camp. So that's a lot of money. Finally, Apple capped things off with the new AirPods Pro Gen 2. So in the time of the original AirPods Pro to the AirPods Pro 2, I think they already launched 2 new Apple AirPods. So finally we're getting a new Pro. Notable features, at least for me, is number 1, the improved battery life, where it's now up to 6 hours. Thank for that. And the other one would be the size of the ear tips. So now you're getting 4 different sizes. So that's M, S, L, and extra small. Obviously, the new headphones also come with a new H2 chip, and probably the low-key most cool thing about it is that now the case has like a lanyard loop, so you can lanyard it and loop it and then put it on your wrist or your neck or something like that, you know? Because the design of the stem is the same, right? So how will people know you have the new AirPods? Because your case got lanyard. Boom, game, set, match. Oh, and there's also obviously a swiping control on the stem, so you can swipe to sort of adjust volume, which again, appreciated. Interestingly though, the price for the AirPods Pro remains the same at 1,099 ringgit, but we don't have availability for this or the watch yet, so stay tuned, we'll update. Obviously, I wasn't able to cover all the new features and specs of all of these devices, and I didn't even touch on the Apple Watch Series 8, but I will leave links to all of our full in-depth articles covering the launch post in the description, so make sure you hit that and don't miss any details. In the meantime, let me know what you think of these brand new products in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Will you be upgrading from 13 or 12? Or let me know what iPhone you're on and whether you're upgrading. I want to hear all your dirty, juicy thoughts. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we're also on Facebook. We're also on TikTok, Instagram. Obviously, we're on YouTube as well. But our home on the internet will always be at searchandshout.com. So until the next video, I will see you then. Bye.